Welcome to the podcast. Today, my guest is Nicholas Braun, best known as Nick's Virgin on TikTok. Today, we'll be talking to him about his life, social media, um, and of course, Taylor Swift. Let's get into it. Firstly, thank you very much for doing this. I appreciate it.
I'm happy to. It sounded fun, so I was like, oh, I can do a little interview.
Yeah. So I guess just the first thing, just maybe introduce yourself real quick.
Hello, my name is Nicholas. I'm Nick's version on TikTok and Instagram. I do a lot of content, specifically usually about Taylor Swift, but I do occasionally branch out to other artists as well. I do a lot of content about specifically live concerts a lot of the time. So whether it was the Eras tour and now a lot of the stuff with the Sabrina Carpenter's tour. Um, I do all things kind of this fandom space. It's very, very fun. So if that sounds interesting, definitely come check me out.
Hmm. You have over 112,000 followers on TikTok. What made you start posting and what has that journey kind of been like?
So my posting journey is kind of interesting. If you scroll back the furthest to my TikTok, I used it originally very casually. Like I would post maybe twice a year, truly just random stuff. I kind of used it like a personal page because I had friends who had it, and so I would just post like that. But during the Eras tour, there was this game where we got to guess what outfit Taylor Swift would wear on the Eras tour. And I loved playing it. It was my favorite things to do. I played it from the very first show that it was available. Actually, the one before Mastermind existed, but we don't have to go into all that. But this game was so fun, and I developed a spreadsheet that tracked the last time she wore each outfit. And I thought maybe other people might be interested in this. So I made this graphic where I drew every Taylor outfit, and I talked about how long it had been since she wore them. I posted that on Twitter, and literally overnight, that one got 14,000 likes. And then all of a sudden, people were like, "Oh my God, I love this. Post this every show." And so I did that a couple weeks on Twitter, but that's not really my kind of vibe. I'm not over on that app. I just wanted to post a picture. And I was like, well, it'd be more fun to do this on TikTok. And so about week 3 of doing this, I broke it down on TikTok. And then that one as well did better than I ever expected. And then that's kind of how it all started. So it all stemmed from this one graphic I impulsively decided to make and post.
Yeah. Um, you make these games on social media like Family Feud and that with for swift-tok to join, and you get fellow swift-tok creators participating. How did you come up with that idea?
So behind the scenes, a lot of Taylor Swift content creators are very friendly. They're amazing people. And so we would maybe post something kind of similar. Some people post like recaps of her show. I was posting what outfits I think she would wear. And we would like end up interacting with each other and kind of having this like fun back and forth. It didn't start becoming like a true friendship, at least with me. I know some of them had a little bit earlier because they've been posting a lot longer. We were more acquaintances online until right before the London show the second time. And I was posting because I was going to go to Vienna and it got canceled that I was going to go to London. And they were like, oh, we've been interacting a few times with them before. They're like, you should come hang out with us. We're going together. We're having fun. And so I met up with them. We spent the few days together and we became really, really good friends. And in extension, I became friends with the people that they were friends with. And throughout this process, I thought that it'd be really fun to do something together, but I didn't know what that would be. Once the Eras tour ended, I was like, well, we used to go on live all the time and do stuff, and we would go live together and chat on live about something happening. And I'd be like, I want some sort of excuse for us to do it because we have nothing to clown about or anything upcoming. And so I decided to make a family feud where I quizzed a bunch of my followers on something and I asked literally everyone I knew if they would be willing to join. And I believe the first live I did, we had 7 guests. I since realized that was too much. It was like all over the place and wild, but it was so fun. And because of how successful that first one was, not even just like views wise, just fun, like personally, I then decided to branch out and keep doing it. And at first I was doing about 3 a month, but then that was a little excessive even for me to do. So I kind of have gone to about one, sometimes two a month as my vibe on that now.
Yeah. You kind of touched it on before about, the outfit trackers, but what is it kind of like kind of being, essential viewing for Swifties during the Eras tour?
It was literally insane. It kind of happened so fast. The first time I ever posted on TikTok was during the Europe leg of the tour. Obviously, I've been a Swiftie forever. I just wasn't online. And quickly, because of how successful Mastermind was, people wanted to have some sort of rhyme and reason why they guessed things that wasn't just their gut. And so kind of accidentally falling into this niche was really fun. And then it kind of became insane. Um, I've never matched, obviously, the peak of that time even now. It kind of does something to your mind when you post a video and within the first few minutes it has like tens of thousands of views because people are like, I was waiting for you to post this before I submitted my mastermind. And it literally, I couldn't even wrap my head around it until months after the Eras tour had ended. And I was like, wow, that was insane now that I look back at it.
Yeah. You graduated in 2024. Do you see content creation, social media as like a permanent job, or do you hope to, go into something else?
So I do hope to eventually go into marketing specifically, which is kind of similar, marketing social media. But throughout this last year, social media, just my own page, has been successful enough that I have been able to like subsidize some income that way. I don't think it's necessarily as much as like a normal paid job is. It's definitely on the lighter end of like a salary. It's not I don't know how much I'm gonna make until the month is over as well. So it's very fluctuating. So it's not something that can be permanent. But as of right now, I'm having so much fun doing it that I just want to spend time focusing on it to see what I can do. Because if I didn't give it a chance, it would always be this biggest what if in my life. Like if I didn't try.
Yeah. Yeah. Social media is very public and there's haters, especially towards Taylor Swift. How do you navigate kind of the hate and the, publicness of it?
So specifically when it comes to Taylor Swift, like hate, a lot of the people are not as unique as they think they are with their hate. So it's very easy to guess what they're gonna say and then put it in my TikTok comment filters. And so they could just talk into the void and no one have any idea what they said. Like people think like, oh, you deleted my text. I'm like, I didn't even see it. TikTok deleted it for me. Um, I personally have not received a ton of hate. Obviously, the normal stuff online, like people randomly trolls, whatever. But I wouldn't say anything that is truly excessive that has been an impact on me. Definitely, people have stuff to say about Taylor, though. And sometimes people are creative and they have to figure out a new word to add to the filter, and it makes me laugh.
Yeah. What is maybe one interesting fact no one or not many people know about you?
Ooh, okay. My go-to interesting fact, but I might have mentioned it online before, so let me know if you want a deep cut. But my normal one I go to is I was born in Budapest, Hungary, and I did not move to the US until I was 5 years old. So I lived in Hungary and Croatia originally, but I don't have any sort of accent because I moved. Well, I have an American accent. I don't have any sort of like Hungarian or Croatian accent because of how young I was when I moved to the US.
Well, that's actually real cool. Um, Now, if you had like the chance to meet Taylor, what is like one question you wish to ask?
So first I would faint. And then I would say the thing that would be on my mind the most, even though I don't think it's necessarily the best question in the world, just because it's my niche, is I'm so curious how she decided what she was going to do every single Eras Tour show, like when it comes to outfits or surprise songs, or even when it came to like the scheduling of guests or the planning of the set list. Like, how did this all come together and how did it change over time?
Yeah. What is your favorite Taylor Swift song and maybe your least favorite if you have a least favorite?
So my favorite song by Taylor and my favorite song period is Cowboy Like Me. I could probably go on like a 10-minute rant on how good that song is, but I'm gonna save you the time. And then my least favorite, I always like to say, I have this phrase I use online because I don't hate any of her songs or any of the albums. I like them all. Usually for the albums, I say it's my 12th favorite, which means it's
Yeah.
like one of my favorites, but it's in 12th place. And then, so my last place favorite Taylor Swift song is Glitch.
Okay. Interesting. Yeah. Um, do you have like a hot take when it comes to Taylor?
Ooh, this hot take, I've only said it one time before on it live, and I made everyone swear not to tell them when I said it because they were already furious. And that is, for me personally, New Romantics is my least favorite song in 1989. And people are like, what on earth are you? How dare you?
I personally kind of agree, but
Really?
yeah.
That's so rare. Everyone I've, at least in the live, they told me I was insane.
Alright. What is like one song if you can recommend one song of hers to get someone into her?
Ooh, okay. This is hard because she has so many different like genres. She has the country eras of her life, the pop, and then later on the alternative ones as well. Ooh, so I would say I have two, it might be cheating. Um, if they like more country music, I would probably go with the classic Love Story. It does show a lot of her original country roots, storytelling, and it is very simple to digest, so it doesn't require them to like look up what a word means or what a phrase is, and it kind of really fits in that way. But I will say in general, I think the song I would show them is Cruel Summer. And I always said that before it even became a single. I was always a huge person who would say that in 2019 to be like, this song is pop perfection. And I think people listen to it. If they had no idea who Taylor was or no preconceived notion, they'd be like, this is amazing.
Yeah. Um, Taylor obviously had eras. If you could label this time in your life as like an era, what would you call it?
Ooh, what era am I in right now? So, like a Taylor Swift era or like a different name? Like, what are you
Oh,
looking for?
yeah, just like an era of your life that you kind of it can be,
Okay. I would say the era of my life that I feel like I'm in right now is the social media era. But if I had to describe it in a Taylor era, I would say the closest that I feel to it is 1989. That's the kind of vibe I'm in.
yeah. You know, Chelsea released a new album. What is kind of your thoughts and like favorite songs on that one?
So my favorite songs on The Life of a Showgirl is the first two tracks, The Fate of Ophelia and Elizabeth Taylor. I think they're so good. The most underrated one, in my opinion, is Ruin the Friendship. I love that song so much. And then my thoughts on the album as a whole is I kind of view it similarly like I view Lover, like the upbeat pop kind of vibe, which is fun, very fun. But previously, before this album came out, I would say Lover was my 11th favorite album. So I would say Life of a Showgirl is in a very similar spot. I tend to gravitate more towards the like singer-songwriter vibe, but obviously I listen to Lover like every day. So like this is not any sort of dislike or like I don't like the album at all. I just would say I would group it with Lover in my thoughts in Taylor Swift's canon.
Yeah, Ruin the Friendship is my favorite song on the album. So
Such a good choice.
yeah. And I don't know about you, I don't know if this like but if you type in like a new album comes out, um I always get like freaked out that I'm not gonna like it. But I
Same.
I always liked her albums, but you
That's
just
the same
always
for
have that
me.
fear. Yeah.
I have never disliked a Taylor album, um, which is crazy. Like you could be 12 for 12.
Yeah. 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 Same, but like you always have that like what if
Oh my
she
God. Yes.
this time next year, what is something you would have wanted to, achieved or done or
Oh, that's a good question. That's something I should have thought about beforehand. I'm like, oh, that's a good one. I should have anticipated it. Ooh. So I want to make sure to keep the like Swiftie online space alive. I know um during the time between the Eras Tour and Showgirl, a lot of the space was starting to like die. People were not wanting to watch Taylor Swift videos, and I felt like a lot of people nowadays don't really have this like third space or this like kind of club or community. And the Eras Tour was providing that for a lot of people. And so I was afraid people would isolate and kind of lose these connections. So my goal throughout that time was to keep everyone together. Now that we have Showgirl, it kind of revitalized everything, but honestly, not as much as I thought it would. I would say the Eras Tour really was the reason everyone was going online every day. And with this album, they kind of process it on their own. They like go listen to it on their walks or listen to it on their day to day. And so my goal would be to kind of go back to this community space and tweak the stuff I've been doing to kind of match what people have wanted. I've achieved that a little bit with a lot of the Swifties who have since become Sabrina Carpenter fans. And I do the same lives I used to do for Taylor with Sabrina now. Obviously, we still talk about Taylor stuff before and after live because, you know, I am me. But it kind of gives an excuse for people to be like, okay, Sabrina has a show at 7 p.m. on Friday. Let me tune in. And then we have these traditions and fun. And so it brings everyone together. And I kind of hope to continue to do that. And I know Sabrina's concert ends this year, so by next year, I'd hope to have kind of branched out and maybe done, you know, like Taylor Lives, and then, you know, maybe if Ariana Grande's tour or something, like some excuse for us to meet up online and continue this community space together.
Yeah. I remember when TikTok was gonna like leave in America. And like obviously follow you guys. So like just knowing that you kind of didn't have that community, it was gonna be like, geez, but obviously it all ended up well, but yeah.
That was so scary. And what's so funny is like I knew it was so many of the other people who I talked to online. I won't name names because I don't think they post this publicly. They did not think it would even be banned for the little bit it was because it was banned for like 12 hours.
Yeah.
We got it back the next day, but I was like, gosh, this is fucking real for me. So much so, I thought it was going to be way longer. That I had planned to potentially move a lot of the stuff to YouTube, and I was actually in the process of doing a my first ever full length YouTube video. It's now my only full length YouTube video I've made. Right in the middle of that, when I was making all the systems to like redo everything and restructure, TikTok came back, and I was like, well, now I got to switch them all back. Switch back my camera's vertical. Switch everything back.
Yeah, I remember like it happening, and people like, oh no, it's not gonna go, and it went, and like in New Zealand, I think it happened at night, so like in the morning it was already back, but it was like really weird, to be like without the Americans on TikTok. Yeah. I got some quick fire questions.
Okay.
Pineapple on pizza.
I think it's good.
Cats, dogs, or both.
Cats, easily. I'm not a dog person. No offense to people with dogs. I love cats.
Same. Um, Night owl or early riser.
Ooh, I'm a night owl. I hate mornings, and it's my toxic trait.
What is your favorite song right now? Just any artist, like that you listen to.
So I will. So obviously, I could pick a Taylor one, and I said earlier, "The Feet of Ophelia," but I will go someone who I was not expecting. The song that's been on repeat lately for me is "Where Is My Husband" by Ray.
Yeah.
I was shocked about how much I like that song.
And if you could recommend a book, a movie, or a show you pick to someone, what would it be?
Ooh, oh, I love all three things. So I'm a big movie person, TV show, and a book person. So this is hard. I would say a book that is personally my vibe a lot, but you might have to be the right personality for it. Is I really loved The Pride of the Orange Tree. It's a queer fantasy novel that's kind of like Game of Thrones. It's huge. So people are going to look at it and be like, what on earth? It's like 800 pages. So it might not be your vibe, but I personally loved it so much. And the sequel just came out like a month ago, and I've not read it yet, but it's my top book to read.
Hmm. Um, yeah, and then what are like, I guess, some like hobbies or something that you have kind of outside? You're known for Taylor and Sabrina, but what is like some stuff outside of that?
Ooh, good question. So one thing, this is slightly Taylor related. is I'm a huge spreadsheet nerd. Like I have 700 bajillion spreadsheets, but people think it's just for Taylor. It's not anything. I've probably 15 spreadsheets about Taylor that actively work on, which is crazy for a lot of people. But those are not the only ones I do. I have spreadsheets for, you know, I do this thing where I do a song of a day every day, and I've done it for 3 years now. And I make sure that you can't repeat within the same year. And so I track that. I track my monthly listens and streams of songs. I track like literally everything that can be. If I play a Pokemon game, every data goes into the spreadsheet when I finish the game because I have to put it in there. I'm addicted to them, and that's the weirdest thing to be addicted to, I know.
Hmm. And then just the last kind of question. The world right now can be a dark place. What is something that you do to, be happy or, laugh?
Ooh, that's a good question. Recently, I have loved. So I always love concerts. So that's my first answer. But I feel like that's like basic from what I talk about. So for me, the thing that gets my mind off of it the most is like live music or watching people enjoy it. That's why I'm really into the Sabrina Carpenter tour right now, which I just got back from yesterday, by the way, which is funny. It was so good. And in general, I think having a community is really important, and a lot of people nowadays are much more isolated. I mentioned this a little bit before. I personally like to take time to do stuff that some people would say is like a waste of time. So like if it's playing a game with a friend, even if it like doesn't, it's not productive. I mean, it's fun and you get to talk, and that it's an excuse to hang out. And I feel like the more you just isolate yourself and focus on everything bad in the world, the more like glim and dark the whole world seems. And so even just sharing rants and something with someone, it can really be a life changer.
Yeah, I completely agree. And then just, where can people follow you?
Oh, so my main place I post is TikTok, which is Nix.version. If you look up Nix version, I think it'll show up as well, all one word. On Instagram, I'm Nix version 13, but I really need to get better posting there. My problem with Instagram, as a slight detour, is it only allows 3-minute videos, and I'm the biggest yapper in the world. And a lot of my videos on TikTok are approaching 10 minutes, and so I can't even possibly post those there. But I've gotten better. Most of my videos nowadays are less than 3 minutes, so I can post them both. But those are the two main places to follow me. I'm also on Twitter, but as I said, I just post pictures like the graphic there. I don't even give an explanation, and it's just Nick's version.
Yeah. I completely agree about Instagram. I like Instagram, but the videos and I like to talk as well. So 3 minutes is sometimes not enough. It's yeah.
For real.
Yeah. Well, that's actually all the questions I had. Um, yeah. Uh, just again, I really appreciate you doing this. It was quite fun.
For real, it was. I really enjoyed talking. So thank you for
Yeah.
having me.
And I try to pick some questions that, are not the common ones, I guess.
For real. I'll have you know this is my first like interview in this kind of format.
Oh
So
yeah.
that's really fun. And that's
Yeah.
why when you invited me, I was like, oh, that sounds so fun. I know a lot of people in the online space, this happens to them a lot. For me, it has not. I did one phone interview one time for some like magazine, and they talked to me for like an hour, and I was quoted for 2 words. It made me laugh. So I was like,
Yeah.
oh darn. So this was really nice to have like a full prepared conversation. You did great. So it was really cool. Sorry, this is completely out of nowhere. I just felt the need. Forgot to say it during the interview. Is I have to say I do watch Taskmaster New Zealand. It's the only
Oh yeah.
Taskmaster I watch, which is so funny.
Okay.
So it's funny when it's like from New Zealand. I'm like,
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
I definitely kind of know a little bit about New Zealand. Obviously, not anything crazy. I know whatever they mention on that show, they'll like make a joke and I won't get it, so I have to like look it up. And
Yeah.
so it's funny.
Yeah.
You guys always seem like you guys have a paradise over there, but I know that's just comparatively to here right now.
Yeah. It had its moments, but I quite love living here.
Mhm.
Better than some places.
Good. So bye. Thank you for having me.
Bye.